Jumping back in with another hot list, the PowerFall Project. I am Nick.
I am Adam. It is a hot list.
If you're just tuning in, we are doing a fun list, and I think it's probably going to be one of the most debated lists we have. What are we doing tonight, Adam?
Is it a fun list or a hot list? Either way, it's going to be fun and hot. We are doing the top 5 best singers, solo artists. I mean, really, you just have to explain and defend, sir.
Yeah, in previous episodes, we've done, top 5 albums that had impact on us. We kind of threw that little caveat, argue your point as long as it had impact on your life. And we've done that to kind of a couple other genres too. I think movies or something like that had impact or whatever it is.
Yeah. Or iconic.
Iconic. This would be more in the iconic category, but
I believe that.
This is a tough one because if you just Google, which I did just to kind of get the idea train going there, top artists of all time or top, solo performers or singers, dude, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And depending on what genres you may like, I mean, you might have some punk on there. I might have some opera. We might have some, all kinds of different stuff here. What really, means something to you as an iconic singer. So I have some ones on my honorable mention that I think are just classic that you can't, you just can't argue against. At the same time, I might have to defend some of my answers on my list. And either way, I'm going to make you defend yours. I have a couple of my honorable mentions that I just want to throw out just to bring highlight to them as phenomenal singers. But really, I just want to get into this list, dude.
Let's do it. What before we jump in, what is this list sponsored by?
For me, it is Trader Joe's whiskey because that's what I do. This is a Scotch. This is a one that's finished in a bourbon cask. And yeah, man, it's just a nice daily drinker. How about you, sir?
Similar wheelhouse. I picked this beverage up at Trader Joe's. This is a beer called Simpler Times because I do the nostalgic guy in me loves reminiscing about the times where things were quite a bit simpler. So
you didn't have as much responsibility.
Simpler Times, the Pilsner, 5.5% alcohol. Tastes really good on this hot Las Vegas afternoon.
What's the temp estimate right now for you? I think it's 9 o'clock at night.
I think it's about still 105 outside right now.
Oh, that boy.
82 inside our house. I just checked the thermostat.
Oh.
That's what you do as an old man now. You know the thermostat inside and out. You know when the mailman comes. You get to know your neighbors' patterns. That's what you do when you're an old white guy.
Yeah, that's cool, man. You should talk more about that. So how did you come up with your... Did you categorize these singers? Did they have a certain way that they came to you? I mean, I realized that you just Googled this 5 minutes before our episode, which sounds like really solid prep work there, sir. But were there any kind of genres that made this list come together for you?
Well, I think when I did Google it, and I didn't do it 5 minutes before, I actually put some time in this time around.
Shocker.
What it did is seeing the big list. I think I Googled like top 100 singers of all time, and it quickly made me realize I need to kind of break these down into genres and categories.
And probably not start from the bottom, right? You start from the top of that list, right? Usually you start from the bottom, right? And I don't know. I don't get it.
Was that a Drake reference?
I don't know. A Drake. It's when you know him as well as I do, you call him Drake.
But yeah, so I kind of broke them down into categories. And then I definitely have quite a bit of honorable mentions. I tried to use a caveat, were they prolific in their field?
Oh,
but did they touch me? Like, were they in my sphere? Was I aware of them? Could I name a couple songs of them? Because there's a lot of singers that are probably better than some of the ones I have on my list. But if I can't name a song, then it's not subjective to me. So that was kind of the filter. I need to be able to at least name a couple of your songs and
see, that's what I do. I screw up because I start picking on you, and then I realize you're far more prepared than I am, and then it ends up biting me in the ass. So, dang it. Good
Well,
job.
I think your depth of music knowledge is quite a bit better than mine, especially with movies too. So I know there's gonna be some that you're gonna bring up, and I'm gonna be like, oh, you'll see me on the video here, adding it to my list maybe quietly.
I think in my honorables, I think my top 5, you're gonna know all of them. You're gonna nod with approval, which is gonna be boring for the listeners, but yeah. So why don't we just jump in? I think the fun part's going to be in the honorable mentions, but why don't you just lead us off and get us off the rails right away, and then I'll have to bring it back home to Mama, and we'll go from there.
Alrighty.
I don't know what any of those references were.
That's all right. We're outdated. Yeah. Coming in number 5 for me, I'm going Mark Wahlberg.
Pause for awkward. What? Seriously?
No, God, no. I'm just joking. I have a whole subgenre of.
I love it.
I stumbled across this subgenre that we'll have to maybe explore in another list. Where
is it Mark or is it Marky? Mark. Like, is there a Y at the end of the first word? Is it Marky?
I don't want to put a foot in my mouth, but there's a whole subgenre that I just started scribbling a list about here, where it's actors that have put out music.
Oh.
And so no full transparency here. Prior to the episode starting, I was jacking myself up, pumping myself up.
Ew.
That came out really wrong. I was pumping myself up by listening to, are you ready for this? This is my favorite actor who's made a song or who made an album.
30 Seconds to Mars.
No.
Jared Leto.
He's got too big of a catalog of music. This is kind of more of one-hit wonders.
Barbra Streisand.
I legitimately enjoy Eddie Murphy's album.
What?
Specifically, Party All the Time.
Wait, comedy albums?
No. Music. He did a music album.
Get the hell out of here! I didn't know that.
I know you've heard the hit off it was Party All the Time. My girl likes to party all the time. It's actually a pretty fun song. I was rocking out to it.
I didn't know that Eddie Murphy had a fucking song, let alone an album.
Get on Spotify after this and check it out. Also worth mentioning too, David Hasselhoff has an album out.
Yeah, well, clearly, because I'm German.
So there's a whole subgenre of just like funny actors that have made music. So that's not my list. So coming to number 5 for me, I have.
You rocked my world, though. You did. You just rocked my world a little bit.
Do yourself a favor. Look up Eddie Murphy after this. It's not bad. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
And then David Hasselhoff, True Survivor. You can't go wrong. Kung Fury.
Clearly, dude. Knight Rider put out some albums.
Yes, he did. The Hoff. But my number 5 is someone that I actually truly enjoy. This is probably, if we had to do an episode, and I say this with the most respect, if we had to do the top 5 gayest things about each other, this would probably be number 1. But I actually truly enjoy this artist, and I say that again. I say that respectfully,
right?
Because there's some things that I do that are definitely on the spectrum there.
Yeah.
But this artist
having sex with men, but whatever.
I that's not on my list. But,
it's not. Okay.
I respect this. I respect that space.
Right.
But this artist.
Eventually, we're going to get to our list.
This artist has been killing it for a number of years.
Okay.
This, unfortunately, is one of those artists that I wish, spoiler alert, I wish she would have quit while she was ahead.
Okay.
Because I much like, when you're watching your favorite baseball player, your favorite football player, your favorite UFC fighter, you want to remember them finishing on top.
Is that another gay thing? I don't get it.
Possibly, but I'm talking about a female
canceled
here.
Oh, right. Well, okay.
And that's Madonna. I truly enjoy Madonna. Not everything she's done, but for the most part, I mean, just what made the list was the space that she carved out was unique. There was no one else kind of doing what she was doing.
Now, is the best thing that she's ever done Guy Ritchie? Sorry.
Now, she's had quite the dating list of suitors.
But you were talking about the music that
I was talking about the music. Yeah,
got it. Okay.
And yeah, even up into the early 2000s, I think she did a collab with Justin Timberlake, which is okay. But I wish that would have been her last hurrah. But
because she has bigger arms than he does.
Yeah, but man, she just needs to stop now. But basically, her old catalog, I actually get down with it. Because we've talked about previous episodes. I love bad 80s music.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of Madonna songs that, man, I'm telling you, if they were on the karaoke list a couple weeks ago where we were hanging out together, I probably would have buried myself trying to do a couple Madonna songs.
Okay. Since you brought it up, what would be the Madonna songs go-tos?
I mean, the one that I have the most fun singing,
Yeah.
La Isla Bonita.
Oh, okay. No idea.
La Isla Bonita. I know you've heard it before.
Sure, I'm sure I have.
And then, I mean, she's just got so many hits. I don't want to bore the listeners talking about the music. You have to go through and just explore. But she's got so many over the years that were just iconic.
Well, that's good. I mean, most of my singers that I would do them a disservice if I tried to karaoke them because they're that good. Now I get it though that your singers aren't very good, so that you could totally karaoke them. So I get what you're going for here. I get it. It's more of a self-promotional thing about your own singing, I think.
I feel like I could murder Like a Prayer.
Oh, Like a Prayer. Which one's that one?
We'll have to in the YouTube video. We'll have to drop some little short clips.
Is that Like a Virgin?
That's a different song, but that's also a banger.
Oh,
it's also a banger.
It's a banger,
as the kids say. Vogue.
Love it. Okay. Are you about done with Madonna, or are you ready for an honorable mention, or is it my turn?
I was going to continue on naming hits that she's done, but no, just
I've yet to hear one. But I mean, by all means, you keep going.
A very sexualized singer in a very sexualized era, the 80s and the 90s.
Kind of the Britney before Britney, right?
Yeah, and she carved out her own niche, and she was doing stuff that other people weren't doing. Music videos were pushing the limit a little bit, and I love it, man. I admittedly am a Madonna fan.
Well, and she was phenomenal and a marketing genius, and she just played that game before everybody was ready for it, which is like the main thing about her being so iconic. So all kidding aside, she was fucking awesome.
And I'm saying this so it's immortalized in the record, because what kind of bugs me is when like a celebrity an artist passes away and everyone's like devastated. They're like, oh, Prince, he's the best. I'm like, do you really know any more than 3 Prince songs? I mean, yeah, I like Prince too, but I mean, Purple Rain, what else? You got a couple more. I mean, do you really, David Bowie, Yeah. What are you really that big of a fan?
When
so I'm putting it out there on the record.
Yeah. So Madonna, so from the, where I can contribute to this part of the conversation with Madonna, I really enjoyed her in, you can just cut it there, but I really enjoyed her in 2 movies. One was Dick Tracy.
Yeah,
with
buddy.
Warren Beatty, Al Pacino, actually underrated movie. And I think Edward Furlong as the kid. Oh man, that might be a stretch. Anyway, but Madonna was the lounge singer at Big Boy's Lounge there at Al Pacino's, right? No, at Keys. Oh shit! Now I just screwed it all up. Anyway, and then Madonna in League of Their Own as All the Way May. I think she played outfield, shortstop. I can't remember, but she was great in A League of Their Own. So I liked Madonna as an actress too.
So, spoiler alert, that was my female of the list. I got some females on my honorables, but that was the dominant female on my list.
Okay, all right. Well, I doubled you up. I got twice the awesome female power on my list.
Outstanding. What do you got for number 5?
Well, number 5, I think I needed to put this at number 5. I didn't really order mine, so we're going to go from the fly here. But same genre as far as time.
Okay.
My singer/solo artist was iconic and is a household name for anyone and everyone since he became who he is. This guy not only had incredible vocals and had attitude in his singing and dancing.
Okay.
But number 5 for me is Michael Jackson.
Wow, number 5.
Yeah.
So you did or didn't order your list? No, I'm just curious. So
that's good. That's a good, that is good because he probably could make a case for number 5, or he could make a case for number 1, right? Because
interesting. Okay.
The most iconic, best, I mean, just phenomenal. You hear Michael Jackson on a sampled rap song and you're like, oh, that was a Michael Jackson song. Not forget the rapper, or forget anything else to do with it. Forget the fact that Slash is the one playing the guitar in that song. It doesn't matter because it's a Michael Jackson song. You know, whether he does his iconic dance moves or it's just his falsetto or whatever you call his majestic, beautiful skill with his voice. But he is truly an icon and one of the top 5 singers for me.
His influence his impact is so broad and so impactful that
his impact is impactful. Yep.
This is my vocabulary sputtering right now, but it basically, it's strong enough that it overcame all the allegations that he went through towards the end of his life, and then now after his life,
right?
His legacy still lives on, and that kind of overdoes it. It's kind of the Chris Brown effect. You're like, well.
Or the Cosby effect.
I don't know. Cosby's canceled in my book, but Chris Brown, people gave him a pass. Yeah, he beat up a girl, but your music's so undeniable.
Is it the problem that people were like, oh God, this is going to get us canceled? Is the problem that people are like, God, yeah, but Rihanna is annoying? That is going to get us canceled. Okay, all right. So rephrase that joke, because that's not a real good joke.
So what you're saying is you've had that thought that the only way to shut her up is to.
Oh my God, no.
Her. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you went way further than I did.
I was just trying to read your mind. I was trying to help you dig out of this hole here.
Oh no, we're way too deep in that hole.
Hey yo. So any honorables for number 5? Tito Jackson, maybe, or
yeah, Tito, yeah, for sure. Tito. No honorables for Mr. MJ. I want him to have it by himself, even though he's number 5. Like, MJ is the man. And so much better than Madonna. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, I have a feeling our list is going to cross over here a little bit with my number 4, especially.
Okay.
Just a staple of an era, a staple of a lifestyle, a staple of Vegas. Undeniable, Mr. Frank Sinatra for number 4 for me.
Yeah. Yep. Old Blue Eyes.
Yep. And that's I don't need a whole lot of explanation there, but just that'd be another fun one to try to karaoke as well.
Yeah,
we'd probably get our ass handed to us, but
no question.
You hear some of those songs and you just can't help but try to sing along to a lot of them.
Yeah, that one that's like Chicago, right? So nice they named it twice.
Yeah, you just feel a certain way. You feel like you got a little extra swagger when you start hearing some Sinatra.
Yeah.
Anytime I walk around like an older casino, I just kind of like it pops in my head, and I just kind of like
can't help it. Yep.
You can't help it. You walk with a little extra swagger, and it's nostalgic for me. The nostalgia of him and the era.
Yeah, that I'm so envious of that era. Like, you go to Palm Springs, and every other house you see in Palm Springs has that kind of that 50s Rat Pack era to it, and oftentimes they have pictures of it on the wall, and you think about the Rat Pack and old Vegas and old LA and run around doing all kinds of nonsense that's not on Instagram that you'd be shocked to hear about, and run around with Joe DiMaggio or his ex-wife and all the the Marilyn Monroe stuff, all that stuff, and then those guys, him and Dean Martin, and the honorable mention that I have on my list that goes with them is the Michael Bublé, who does is such a phenomenal singer at just kind of doing all those guys. All the Frank Sinatra, the Dean Martins, the other one that I can't think of, Tony Bennett.
Harry Connick Jr. is my guy.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I get down with him more than Bublé, but Bublé is undeniable.
Yeah. So anyway, in that honorable stuff. So yeah, good one. Very, very, very good. I will match yours with one of my female performers. And this one is going to be purely just on just the emotion that she causes through her vocals. And she's one where it could be argued that they sound all very similar, but I think that's okay. I think that people that have their niche or do something extremely well should do so. And the honorable mentions to this woman are Celine Dion, Mariah Carey is an honorable mention, and Lady Gaga are all honorable mentions to this woman, who is Adele.
Oh.
And this one might not speak to me as far as what I necessarily like, what my favorites are, but there's a reason why Saturday Night Live skits make fun of it and all this other. Everybody makes fun of it because if you're caught in the right mood and one of her songs plays, you cannot help it. You've got nostalgia, you've got shit hitting you right in the chest, and she is extremely good at what she does. And so, singer, voice, her ability, she's number 4 for me is Adele.
That's a bold one. If I would not have guessed that on your list, but you painted a beautiful picture. Over Mariah Carey. That's interesting.
I know it took some. It might be a stretch because if you talk about vocal range, if you talk about like time doing it, iconic songs, all that stuff. I mean, you could say Mariah Carey. You could even say Barbara Streisand for that matter. I mean, she was Jewish and sang a Christmas album, for God's sakes.
Yeah, my only criticism is just the catalog depth of Mariah Carey is quite a bit more than Adele. So that's my only feedback on yours on the negative side.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I mean, you're a dick, but you're right.
Mariah Carey was an honorable for me for Madonna. Just kind of that lady space.
Yep.
Lady space.
Lady space. You're not a white man at all.
This episode sponsored by Simpler Times Pilsner.
With all your privilege just shooting all over everyone.
Man space.
Oh, that's good. All right. Number 3 for you, sir.
Number 3 for me, in the hippie era, in the era that I grew up listening to this music based on the music likes of my mom. Okay. My mom was a hippie.
Okay.
She still has all of these albums, every single one of them on vinyl. Honorables for this category would be like Jim Morrison.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank.
Bob Dylan,
Eric
Joe
Clapton.
Crocker, yeah.
Yeah, I think you might know where I'm going to this. This is a song that I will respectfully not try to karaoke because in my private time, I do try to make an effort to it, but I don't have the vocal range of Mr. Robert Plant.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Led Zeppelin, man. I don't know which was my favorite Led Zeppelin song, whether it's Whole Lotta Love, Kashmir. I just don't know, man. It just, now there's a lot of controversy about, them possibly stealing music back in the day, ripping people off. But at the same time, he was undeniable as a lead singer.
Yeah.
He was a sex icon in the era,
Yeah.
He was defined that era.
Well, didn't they I don't even remember which song it is, but didn't they basically go through the Lord of the Rings? They like described the Hobbit in one of their songs.
Ooh, I haven't gone that deep on them.
It's a popular song. They're like, oh yeah, and Gollum was in the pit, and we needed the precious.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I think my brother makes fun of me because he's a big Led Zeppelin fan, and I remember hearing that song and being like, "That's Lord of the Rings, dude." And he was like, "What? That's just blasphemy. Get out of here." So
I knew I wanted something from that genre, that hippie era, that 60s, 70s, that era. Madonna kind of filled my 80s, 90s era. Sinatra, 30s, 40s. Is it 30s, 40s? 40s, 50s? Where am I at with Sinatra?
50s. Yeah, 50s for sure.
Yeah.
It's the Mickey Mantle time. I mean, it's like
right.
And Joe DiMaggio. So we're talking mid 50s for Frank
Yeah.
Sinatra. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a little behind.
No,
yeah.
you're good. No, it's fucking tough, man. Are you kidding me? It was only 30 years before we were born, but whatever.
Yeah. I got a pass on that. So yeah, I knew I wanted something from that genre because that was such a defining era of music.
Yeah.
As they pushed the limits into rock and roll. Honorables would have been, God, I'm blanking on the name of the lead singer, Beach Boys.
Oh, sure. Or even Pink Floyd.
Or I mentioned
man.
Clapton, but he's not really a singer. Bob Dylan, I don't think
there's obviously some,
But the vocal range and the iconic stature of Robert Plant, he was Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Really, really, really good. Okay. I am going to go, where am I at? I'm on number 3 as well now. Okay.
Yep.
So number 3 is a little bit more, okay, this one's closer to home for me. And I do not have an adequate honorable mention for this one.
Okay.
But this one, I believe I have brought up maybe on our iconic, I think it was iconic songs or music or something. We did an episode on iconic music. And this guy is a solo artist as well as he was a part of the Three Tenors.
Okay.
And I bring this dude up because if you've ever been in an Italian restaurant or you've ever heard opera or, pretty much any like mob movie or anytime that's a set in an Italian restaurant or anything that has to really like convey some emotion, you've heard this dude sing. And it's Mr. Luciano Pavarotti. This
God.
dude is one of the most iconic, one of the best singers that I've ever heard in my entire life. And it was something that I hated when I was little, and I fucking hated when my mom would play opera or any of that kind of stuff. And now if I hear one of his songs, it like is a visceral emotional response. I can't help it. And so for me, number 3, Luciano Pavarotti.
I knew you were going to go deep on at least one of these picks, and that doesn't surprise me. I'm gonna have to refamiliarize myself with his catalog.
Yeah.
But so your mom was into opera, okay? What was dad into?
Well, he liked opera as well, but opera is one of those things where you do not have to be into it, but if you listen to it, you can love it, or you more than likely you hate it. They loved classical music at the same time they were into African reggae. They were, they would also have anything 80s and hippie folk is where, so they had a wide range. And so I really feel blessed by the musical library that they shared with me. Because, at the same time, like I didn't hear In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida and Iron Butterfly until I was probably 17, and I was able to go hang out with my dad, and he pulled out the vinyl collection that had been gathering dust and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, man, I don't know what contributes to the musical, the anthology that you're taught as a kid, I don't know.
Yeah, no, my mom was more like Iron Butterfly. My dad was more Beach Boys. And so we got a pretty fun record collection at home.
Yeah. What do you think, before we get to your number 2 or number 3, I don't know, you have to keep track of where we're at. What do you think in your hypothetical world where Jane's music and your music combined, what are you creating?
Well, what am I bringing to the table as far as music that the future generations are going to look and be like, oh, Nick was known for this?
Yeah, future generations in Nick and Jane's contributions. What are they pulling from that?
Okay, so
because they're getting Lil Wayne from Jane, right?
No, even probably like Usher from Jane.
Okay,
Trey Songz and Chris Brown for sure. Those are like the three. For me, it's a little bit wider variety. It's
Madonna.
Madonna for one. I got quite the spectrum. I got Madonna.
Yeah.
Because I've made her listen to Madonna. I'm like, I'm telling you, she's got the catalog of a lot, you know. She's got it. So Madonna.
Okay.
And in that category, just a ton of crappy 80s music. But then music that was like defined my generation was like Green Day, Blink-182,
right,
The Offspring. Those were Nirvana. Those were kind of like the stuff that really had the most impact on my 90s punk, 90s grunge.
Yep.
What else am I bringing to the table? I've made her listen to like big band swing music, which I really love.
And you're a big fan of new rap.
Absolutely not.
All the littles.
I respect the space they're playing in, but I just don't like the mumble rap. I like rap back when you could sing along with it a little bit. Not sing along, but like you could hear the words and I don't know, like
it's like exactly what our parents are saying about it now.
Chronic 2000, that album was just like one of the last albums that I really thoroughly enjoyed,
Oh yeah.
And that was 21 years ago now. So that's what I'm bringing today. Rage Against the Machine, for sure.
Killing in the name of.
Yeah, and then I definitely have a whole metal vein that I go down sometimes too.
Tom Morello, right? Oh man, dude's a stud.
Yeah.
All right, your turn, sir.
So coming at number 2 for me, this is kind of my new school one, and I'm not a fan of all of the stuff he does, but I'm definitely respect the space he's carving out.
Okay.
An honorable in this genre. This is a kind of a loose affiliation, but I was trying my best to kind of chunk these people into categories more or less. They're still relevant. They're still doing it.
Okay.
J-Lo's a very loose affiliation in this genre for me. I was just trying to think of people that
have great asses.
Yeah, both of these people have great. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's getting a little weird here, but the factor that made this person stand out on my list was the fact that he actually is a creator. It's a he. It's a creator.
He have a great ass. I got it. Okay.
I mean, he might. I'm not.
He might. You just, I got it. Okay.
I'm drawn in by his eyes, but he's a true artist in the sense that
eventually we're going to hear who he is, right?
There's a lot of people that can perform songs that are created for them.
Okay.
Whereas I know if this person was put on the spot and like handed an instrument, they could just make music.
Okay. Yep. He's not a studio guy.
He's not a perfect. He's not a Britney Spears.
Okay.
Which would be another category, kind of, or another person in the similar genre.
Free Britney. Yep.
Yeah, Free Britney. I'll just cut right to it. That's Mr. Justin Bieber.
Okay.
Justin Bieber. I think of our generation, I think he's going to go down as one of the most broad. He raps a little bit, hangs out. He's got the whole rap side. He's got the whole religious side. He's got this kind of new school, I'm married now type of feel.
Yeah.
But he's got a deep catalog, and he's been doing it for a very long time, and he actually is an artist.
And son of a bitch, he probably was on a couple of lists. Like, I'd probably want to have a beer with him. I probably want to kick him in the nuts.
Yeah,
he is a really good singer. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot there.
There's a lot there. He's been on, all the appearances he makes on other people's stuff,
And what sucks is I probably feel about him early on the same way I felt about Justin Timberlake early on. And then I just developed this big, healthy, enormous man crush on Justin Timberlake. And I feel like that could easily happen with Bieber, and that sucks. But it's also, I get why.
Yeah. Now, admittedly, I think I like more Madonna songs than I do. But if I'm putting together a list of the top singers,
well, and we're probably different here, but I like J-Lo's ass more than do you like?
I plead the fifth.
You're right. Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so J-Lo. When I was thinking about J-Lo and Britney, I'm like the same thing. I'm sure J-Lo can acapella and just go into something, but I feel like Bieber's more of an artist performer. Like, he can pick up a guitar, he can probably play the piano.
Yeah, I think I saw an Instagram video where he was he somehow got roped into going to a house party, and it was with a bunch of people his age, which I'm sure he doesn't have any time for. But he got there and he was like, okay, well, what the fuck do I do? He just like saddled up to the piano and just started fucking rocking it. And everybody was like, oh my God, we're at a Justin Bieber concert. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, I think he's going to go down. I mean, he's what is he 30? I don't think he's mid 20s, right?
I don't even know.
God, he's got to be.
Gotta
Anyways,
be late 20s. Yeah, I don't know.
Late 20s. But I think he's got a lot of career ahead left of him too. And so I think it's in the new age space, he's just killing it. I can't think of anyone else that's in the same wheelhouse. Now, a girl that's got some pipes on her for sure is Ariana Grande.
Yep.
I think there's not a song in the world she couldn't put her own twist on and then just kill it, as we were talking about earlier in the podcast. Murder it,
right.
slay
for sure. She's crushing it. She's really vehicular manslaughtering the hell out of the whole thing.
So my number 2, Mr. Justin Bieber.
Nice. That's a good one. That is a really good one. At first, I wanted to crush you over it, but it's pretty good.
You fucks with Bieber, huh?
I fuck with him. Wait, what? I don't get the slang. Anyway, my number 2, sir, is probably will get a nod from you. You won't disagree. Now, what is he? Is he a solo artist? Yeah, he kind of is the front man of several bands and is pretty iconic. And unfortunately, we lost him before his time. But my number 2 is Chris Cornell.
I thought I knew you were going.
Yeah, did I throw you a curveball there?
I thought you were going Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, he's for sure the honorable mention. And
Chris Cornell, though, solid pick.
And probably Freddie Mercury as far as a front man and the showman and everybody on the planet knowing who Queen is versus not everyone in the world knows what Soundgarden or Audio Slave, but Chris Cornell doing, I mean, Sinead O'Connor songs or Prince songs or Michael Jackson songs or his own songs or in that grunge world and to have the vocals that he has in that grunge world where he was competing with the Eddie Vedders and even the Kurt Cobains and to just be his own deal with, I mean, in my opinion, the Soundgarden songs were inferior to the Pearl Jam and the Nirvana songs, but his vocals were far superior. And so for me, number 2, Chris Cornell.
Yeah, that's he definitely came across my list there when I was trying to carve out that grunge space, and that's a category I just kind of had to pull.
Yeah.
You know, he had the vocal range to make the list.
Yep.
You know, whereas not solo artists, but basically singers, frontmen, you know, Kurt Cobain had a big impact.
Yep.
You mentioned Eddie Vedder.
Yep.
It was I don't know, for me, when I was in the 90s, when I was getting into Nirvana and whatnot, I respected the space they were in, you know, the Vedders and the Cornells. But for me, like, I like the rawness of the grunge where like it felt attainable if it was Kurt Cobain singing because
less polished.
You know, less polished. It was more like rough around the edges because a lot of screaming. Whereas like you try to sing an Eddie Vedder song or a Chris Cornell song, it's like you're gonna get schooled.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's good. It's a very good point. The honorable mentions that I'll say with this guy, because I'm gonna leave my number 1 all on their own pronouns, all on their own. And the honorable mentions that I'm gonna throw out. One is, like you mentioned, Freddie Mercury. The female version of Kurt Cobain is Amy Winehouse.
Yep, I think you alluded to that earlier in the week with the Instagram post. Good call. I loved Amy Winehouse. I just thought she was incredible. Another one actually not on my list that I just thought of was I believe her name was also Amy, and we'll have to get it in the show notes or whatever. But Amy from the group Evanescence,
she had a set of pipes on her. And now, really, I only remember the one main song, so maybe it was One Hit Wonder, so she doesn't get the list for that.
She could sing, though, yeah.
But she could sing.
Amy Lee, yeah,
that sounds right.
Yeah.
And then a performer, singer, this guy is up on my number one, but I still just want to leave that space for my number one. But Elton John.
I would have thought he was on your list for sure.
Yeah, He probably should have been, but that's okay. But these two I want to highlight. One is the lead singer of Mayer Hawthorne. I think he has the same style as Elton John. He's very, very good. And then the other one is essentially a love child between Elton John and James Brown, but is the lead singer of the group called St. Paul and the Broken Bones. I've seen them live a couple of times. They're phenomenal. But it's that same Elton John, blue-eyed soul kind of music, like a white boy playing African-American soul music. Yeah, that's my list, man, so far. And I'm going to save my number one.
Part of the feedback we've gotten from our many of hundreds of thousands of listeners was that we don't beat each other up enough on our lists.
Yeah. Are you going to beat up Chris Cornell? Like, good luck. Good luck to you, because you love grunge and Chris Cornell. So good luck, motherfucker.
It'd be hard to beat up a dead guy. Yeah, it's
oh, that's how you're going to do it. Well, at least he went out doing what he loves.
As long as you're making a strong case for these people.
Didn't he go out sexually asphyxiating?
Yeah, I think so. Oh. So didn't the guy from NXS do that too?
I don't know. David Carradine did, from the old Kung Fu show. And
yeah, I think there's been a couple people gone out that way.
Yikes.
Hey, yo, good times.
Hey, yo, anyway, so beating up my list. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my list, my number one here, my list is I feel like I've covered quite the broad spectrum of category, and I didn't have any opera on there. So that's my only tip of the hat to you there, is you really went deep on that. But recap real quick. My number 5 was Madonna.
Yep. Solid.
Number 4 for me, Frank Sinatra.
So, of course.
Number 3 for me was Robert Plant.
Yep.
Number 2, love to hate him, hate to love him, Justin Bieber.
Yep.
My number 1, I challenge you to find a deeper catalog of hits.
Oh.
There's more songs in this individual's catalog that we've forgotten about than there are hits of all the other people combined.
Okay.
That we've talked about here.
Give me a little more.
That is why this person was clearly number 1.
Okay.
This individual created a whole genre of singing and performing being the key word here.
Okay.
And of the top 40 or 50 songs, I think I love them all. Dude, I got it. There's no question. My number 1 was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was going to say this is my number 5. Oh, I love it. He's so good. Are you kidding me? So good. Oh.
Even back in the Jackson 5, he was killing it. But man,
he's killing it. He's so good.
I mean, you could go on forever. Everyone knows PYT. Everyone knows Bad. Everyone knows, Billie Jean, Beat It. But like Blood on the Dance Floor, Man in the Mirror, Will You Be There? Let's see your Scream. Let's see what else we got here.
Look over your shoulders. I mean, just AB, even the Motown days. Like, singing songs that everyone sings, you just do way better and make your brothers look like, background dancers. Yeah, you're the fucking man. Yeah.
Dirty Diana.
Oh, yeah. It's a big hit here in this household.
Yep. Dangerous.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones that everyone
Black or
forgets
White.
about. But yep.
We Are the World. I mean, We Are the World. Isn't that the one he sang with like all the other famous performers that everybody was like, oh, you mean that Michael Jackson song that everybody else was on to raise money?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I already mentioned Man in the Mirror, Rock With You.
He was bad.
Rock With You is another one that people always forget about. But you're like, oh yeah, I forgot that was in it,
Yeah, he was bad.
Black or White, Smooth Criminal.
Yeah. He's the only guy
Shake
that's
Your Body.
Like, hey, Magic Johnson, you want to be in a music video? Okay, cool. We'll be in Black or White.
Yeah, I mean, how do you go from like Beat It to I'll Be There? the vocal range of that guy, that is clearly by his number one for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a way to dispute that. I mean, I did put him number 5 on mine. I don't know. That was a great way of categorizing.
So I'm really struggling to guess your number one. I knew for sure. I thought Elton John was going to be on your list there at some point. I'm trying to think what genres we've left out that you haven't touched on. That's your number one. So give me a recap of your list, and I'm curious to see if you're able to beat my list this week.
Okay, so number
so far, I think I'm up.
Yeah, you got a pretty solid list. You got a pretty solid pedestrian list. I mean, that's how a lot of people will put it together. Now, if you need a professional to put your list together, you would say number 5 is Michael Jackson. Now, right away, I already feel like I'm on wrong footing.
You're a better shit talker than I am, though. I'm like, hey, buddy, my list is better than yours. That's the extent of my smack talking there.
Well, and then I need to remember how I did my list because I don't really remember. I think I did number 4 as Adele. Pretty sure. Then I did number 3 as Luciano Pavarotti. And then number 2 is Chris Cornell. But number 1... That
sounds right to me, yep.
Number 1 for me made us all truly believe we could sing along with this and many other songs. And then also happened to be an actress. This woman lived a real life and had a struggle with dependency issues.
Okay.
But this woman had the most iconic, best voice that I have ever heard in my entire life. And number 1 for me is Whitney Houston. You don't agree, and that's okay. That's okay.
I commend you for giving, the number 1 spot to a female, a woman of color. So I see what you're doing there. You're trying to earn social points. I get it.
Okay. Now we're throwing the gauntlet. Are you kidding me right now? Whitney Houston's not number 1? She's not even on your honorable mentions.
That she would have to go head to head with Madonna, but that's a tough fight there, man.
What? Oh my gosh, it's not even close. Whitney Houston, Madonna. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I mean, you could take take Queen of the Night. And that would beat all of Madonna's songs. So next.
Let me ask you this. So my Justin Bieber pick, I picked him because I thought he was undeniable, but I don't necessarily enjoy him. Do you have any Whitney on your playlist?
I mean, the Bodyguard soundtrack by itself is not on my playlist. However, it was when I was younger, and everybody, and I'm building this up, but I fucking can't think of the song. But the main song from the Bodyguard soundtrack is just incredible. It's so memorable that I can't come up with it right now, which is really killing my cause right now. But
I will always love you.
Yeah, well, right?
I'm looking at the Bodyguard soundtrack. I Have Nothing.
No, it's I Will Always Love You. Yeah, that it's just man, I totally did not come with my teeth ready for this one.
I've got 2 screens in front of me, so I got a little cheat card here. I got a little phone a friend line here. 1992, The Bodyguard. All right, yeah, okay.
Oh my God, I'm talking to the wrong person. This is ridiculous.
I respect your choice, but I respect it as maybe like a number 5 or 4.
I know that Cole is going to be in the same boat as you, which is annoying because when we think about these lists, we think about this show, we think about that we're talking to Cole, and really who we have to convince is Cole, and I'm pretty sure I did a pretty shit job of that.
Listener of the year, Cole. Shout out, Cole.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. Who we're trying to convey here is Cole, and I think my honorables were better. Damn it. But dude, screw that. I'm not weakening out. Whitney Houston is number one. Done with this shit.
I respect you as a podcast cohort here, and I'm done with the smack talk. I had a couple honorables, just kind of in non-specific genres.
Yeah, sprinkle them in. Sprinkle them in, Nick.
How about Jamie Foxx?
Oh, yep.
Not as a top 5 singer, but just as like stud that's killing it in every genre.
Classically trained, very musically inclined, and thought, hey, let me get into this business through comedy. I'm pretty funny, cool, but is far superior in music. Oh yeah, Jamie Foxx is the man.
How about an innovator, an American icon, Elvis?
Yeah, yep, he's up there.
That was hard. I couldn't quite, the filter that made it to where he didn't appear on my list is that it was my list. That's what it was. If you're debating, if you're trying to make a list of top singers, it's kind of hard not to put them on there. But I try to make this my list.
The Beatles would be up there, but they're not my list either.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's true.
Did you say Billy Joel?
I did not.
Okay, Billy Joel, kind of an honorable, just kind of floating around. I didn't quite know where to put him.
Yeah.
Also, another odd one. They're kind of in the Chris Cornell genre. Maybe Gone Too Soon. Bradley Noel, Sublime.
Yeah.
Good pipes on him, man.
I've never been a Sublime fan.
Oh, really? Okay, I got into them. Yeah.
I want to like them. I just don't. And not to any fault of their own. I would say Nate Dogg. I think Nate Dogg has a particular sound that is not necessarily going to get in this list.
He wasn't a headliner. He wasn't like a solo artist, but I mean, he was a solo artist, but he's more known for his appearances on stuff, just singing the hooks.
Yeah, he was the
of all of our favorite songs.
Yeah, he was this hook singer of all those songs. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Good honorable there. Any other honorables?
We had some from our Instagram. I think it was Power Media that was Dido. I think they were into Dido.
What a weird company, huh?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
Any other spam?
We had lots of spam, and a good host would have that stuff ready for him, but I don't.
Let's see. I mentioned Brittany. She's got quite the catalog, but I bumped her from the list just because I don't think she wrote any of those.
Yeah. What? Oh, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing this weekend. So coming up on Friday, my wife bought us tickets to Christina Aguilera. She has always had pipes. I've never really been a fan of Christina Aguilera, but ever since she was like 10 years old singing the national anthem at games, she's clearly had the vocal range and a really, really good singer. It just hasn't necessarily been my, particular brand of vodka.
Jane saw her not too long ago here in Vegas. She did kind of not a Christina Aguilera perform. It wasn't her own standalone concert, but I think it was like I think if I remember right, it was like the opening of the Virgin Hotel.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. Like a virgin. Madonna callback.
That would have been a more fitting thing. But another singer that I can't wait to see how their career continues to evolve, just because I absolutely love her voice, is Halsey.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Just too new. Like
she's
all my people on my list have just such a huge catalog of music. That was kind of the weighing factor on what I put in this list.
Yeah. I just lost it. I was gonna say something, but now I can't remember. Oh well, doesn't matter. What are we doing for next week?
Well, this is monumental. We haven't specifically put a topic together for next week, more so than just kind of like a montage of the best of stuff that we want to discuss.
Yeah.
Because next week, man, is actually our 1-year anniversary, our 52nd recording.
Wow, 52
of the PowerFall project.
52.
Dude, I don't know about you, but it seems like just yesterday that we started this thing, or you started this thing and kind of drug me into it.
Well, what I think what fits with that is that we still don't know what we're doing, and I think that's the coolest part.
Aside from being the ultimate authority in top 5 lists, we're still kind of feeling it out week to week, trying to figure out what our lane is. But I'm feeling pretty good about the lists we've had, because we've had some monster lists.
Yeah.
And that might be part of what we're going to talk about next week a little bit. We might recap some of the best of.
1 year anniversary episode. We'll have something special for sure.
For sure. But yeah, stay tuned. I appreciate you guys listening this far. Awkward silence.
Yeah, well, that's another one in the books, dude.
Let us know how we did on these lists. I can confidently say I think I feel pretty solid in my list, but I didn't go as deep as Luciano.
Yeah, be sure to let Nick know how well I did. And by all means, we really appreciate the support and everybody listening. So thank you again. Subscribe, tell a friend, write a review, do all the things. That's another one in the books. I'm Adam.
I'm Nick. I'm Nick.
He's Nick. I'm Adam.
He's Adam.
We're overserved. Later.